Hi, this is the Mysterious Mystery, and I'm going to be doing a review on Samurai Jack Season 5, Episode 1. Now, I'm going to try to keep this short, because I feel if I go on too long, it's just going to turn into kind of a rambling video. First things first, I want to say, I can't remember his name, his first name, I want to say Gregory Tartakovsky. That is so wrong, and I know it. Anyway, the creator of Samurai Jack and all the people who worked to get it back, all the people who worked on it this season, I want to congratulate them because this is amazing. They have the beautiful art style. The music carries each scene perfectly, and yeah, it's amazing. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. Okay, I'm going to get into the meat of it. First things first, Jack. Other than him being back, he's lost his sword and he's lost his way. Now, I have a theory about how he lost his sword, but the most interesting thing I can see from this season so far is that the creators are going to be focusing on character arc. Now, you weren't really able to do that in the original seasons because it's a kid show, and let's face it, kids don't have that good of a attention span. So, Jack is suffering from pretty bad PSD and survivor's guilt. His view of him pretty much not stopping a coup for all this time has made him is skewing his view on everything. Like, you see this scene where he's drinking from a river, and like the leaves fall down, and he sees his parents and like all the people in his kingdom in like zombified form. So, like, I remember the first episode of Samurai Jack, not perfectly, but I remember it. It's Jack. He was kind of walked in. He was a little arrogant at the time. He was quickly humbled by his father, and I think everyone in his village understood that if he failed, that it was the end of their life, and they didn't blame him because this was, well, one guy versus some super old evil, and I don't believe they would personally hold it against him or fault him for his failure. But he is seeing this and it seems to be skewing his view. Now, when he's in his PSD trips, he's seeing this figure on horseback, which seems to be in full-on samurai armor and everything. And whoever this figure is seems to be terrifying him. Now, I have a theory about that guy, and I'll swing back to it later. But I want to go to the antagonists. First things first, we saw the beetles that were in the first episode. The beetle robots that were in the first episode. Instead of them having blue eyes, they have red. They seem a bit bigger now. And they were sent after this village with dog-like people. Again, but these ones communicated with like their antennae that like showed words, which I found very interesting. So, yeah. They were pretty much just, cannon fodder. Like, the first time Jack fought them, he almost died as well. Well, not almost died, but he was really injured. This time, he took a few hits, and that's about it. He wiped out an entire army of those guys like it was nothing. And he has an awesome motorcycle now. So, yeah. The other villains I want to go on about are the Daughters of Aku. Now, this seems to be some type of cult-like deal. Obviously, like, these people, they kind of are in a way mirroring Jack's training, how he went around the world from a very young age, learned all these things from all these different perspectives from different walks of life on how to defeat Aku. Now, these girls, they are learning only one perspective to defeat Jack. So, although they have been trained very hard, their training's less diverse, and that's the thing I always liked about Jack. Like, and I could never call him like a Gary Sue because, like, in the first episode, it showed him from like age 8 or something, going. Wait, no, it was 10. Age 10, going all around the world, training, learning all these different fighting styles and all these different things. Sorry, nose was leaking. And all these different things from all these different, like, different masters and everything, which I always found fascinating. These girls, they were taught by many masters, but they all had the exact same viewpoint, the exact same life. They were all, like, they spent their entire life in that cave. And the one daughter of Aku that was emphasized on, Ashi, which is a pretty name. I actually really like that name. Anyway, so some people think they're going to turn good, and I have very, very high doubts on that. Because Ashi, unlike her sisters, she saw the sun setting among a beautiful valley when she was a child, and like amongst a very harsh training, and that was the first time she saw like sunlight. Like you could tell when she saw it, she like wasn't sure what it is. Like she put her hand in it quickly, and then she went to go see, and she was like mesmerized by its beauty. Like I think they think like, oh, maybe she's going to turn her back on her sisters or anything. These are the closest people she has any relationship to, and they don't have much of a relationship. I believe Ashi, if anything, she's going to fight 10 times harder than any of her sisters to kill Samurai Jack, because although it is the reason she was born, he's also he's the reason she was born, but he's also the same reason she never got to experience anything outside that cave. Because when you think about it, they said the leader of the daughters of Aku, she said, or I guess the Aku cult, she said the samurai's out there leaving a wake of destruction wherever he goes. Now, that's right and wrong. It's right as in when the bounty hunters Aku sends after him like fight, they usually like tear a town apart, or maybe they attack a town to draw him out, or do something, attack innocents to draw him out. And like that's right because they are going after Jack, and it's like disrupting the, I guess, everyday peaceful citizenry. But it's also wrong because Aku is straight up evil, and like anyone who steps out of line, even for something small, or if he just feels like it, he can just straight up kill them, and who would stop him? And he's like in the original series, he's been shown doing that multiple times. Like these, I don't remember what it was. Like these people from this world of water, they asked Aku if they could live in their oceans because it would be the only place they could live. He said, "I'm well aware. I'm the one who destroyed your oceans in the first place." Like, so I'm guessing he like destroyed the oceans for the money, or maybe just for kicks, or so they'd be dependent on him and worship him. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't believe that Arza Aku are going to be allies, and if they are, I hope it becomes organically, not like, oh, shoehorned in or anything. And that reminds me of another thing before I go into the last villain, Scaramouche, who's actually won the episode for me. Like, I thought, okay, this is a good episode. Then, like, Scaramouche showed up and was like, okay, this is real. I really like it there. I really liked his and Samurai Jack's fight. But a thing, like, I wanted to address is, like, it's Samurai Jack now being geared towards adults. I'm glad they didn't go too edgy or overboard dark in the first episode. I mean, yeah, that showed his very, very dramatic PSD thing. So there's that, yeah. But it's like it didn't feel like I don't know the right words. It didn't feel like overly over the top edgy. It just felt like another episode, but what, the shackles a bit loosened. Alright, time for the villain, Scaramouche. Now, it's obvious this guy is based on Sammy Davis Jr. speech pattern is at the very least, and he seems to be very observant, and despite his cocky attitude until like the end, which is kind of weird how they killed him off when you think about it. Because like Jack just like throws a blade in his face and like he like for some reason doesn't react, but he was able to dodge a sword coming from behind him, although he was the one manipulating it and everything. So yeah. Now this robot, like, he carries a tuning fork sword, tuning a sword like a dagger that becomes kind of like a tuning fork and like creates this very high pitched sound and destroys whatever it slashed. And he has a magic flute, and he has a very heavy scimitar. That's a rather large blade with the curves in it. It's the blade he used. I'll just say that. Anyway, so there's that, and like he seems to be able to create golems and stuff with it, and he seems to he seems to understand his opponent well enough. Like when he figured Jack would come, I guess since like the giant robot beetles were destroyed like a little while a ways away, so I guess he figured, well, if he's probably heading this way, so I'll just attack this town. That'll drag him over. That'll get his attention. So I guess that was pretty smart of him. But like the way he dies, like he seems to be very athletic and all this, and then like, it's like I get it. He was going to lose one way or another, mind you, but it feels like kind of, well, I guess like I've seen this before in comics and in movies. Like the guy gets way too cocky, then like he gets like something that he should have been able to stop and block. It's the same thing that like stops him. So when Jack cuts him in half, like oil or something like flies out the side. I thought, is that like part of Aku? Because some fans may remember in season 2, episode 5, I believe, Jack fights these Ultrabots made by this guy called X-Star. Anyway, and they're powered by Aku's essence. So I was like, is this guy as well? Since like black goo and all that. It could have just been them showing like oil or something. Anyway, I have to give this episode a 9.5 out of 10. No, what? A 10 out of 10. I don't know why I'm saying 9.5. It is amazing. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you do that. Now, and like, the next episode I'm really looking forward to because I heard the creator, I can't remember his name right now. That's bugging me so much. Genndy Tartakovsky? I think that's right. Genndy Tartakovsky. I'm probably messing up that because I don't speak Russian well, or at all, really. So anyway, it's going to be with, and he said something, he said, what was it? He said Jack's going to have to deal with the fact that for the last 50 years, he's been stuck in Aku's future, fighting and everything. He's going to have to deal with killing his first human. Because, like, sure, there's been the occasional human, but they usually don't, it's called, really stick around that much. These ones, like, he's able to, like, knock them out and, like, without killing them. Really, and he's, like, only been killing robots for, like, years. But these girls, the daughters of Aku, they won't, like, stop or slow down until, he's dead. So he's going to have to face his first, his first human he has to kill. So that's very interesting. And I want to go back to the daughters of Aku, Ashi. When her hand was being crushed, I've seen like a lot of reviewers say that she was stabbed, but like the high priestess of the called? She used the flat side of the pole, so it was more her crushing her finger than stabbing it. So yeah. Well, I'm really sad actually Scaramouche died. I know the robots are like mostly one shots, but yeah. Alright, now back to Samurai Jack's sword. So that figure in the that mysterious figure in samurai armor riding a horse. I have a theory. I believe this is not a lot of people remember what's it called? Ooh, I just won't remember his name. He was like whose minions he was I want to say no, that's not it either. Demogo. There it is. He was one of Aku's top henchmen, and he was like magic or something. So I'm thinking this weird shadowy figure is also one of Aku's henchmen, and he lost that sword when Aku, like they said in this, like Aku's finally gone to the defensive and destroyed every single all the time portals. So Jack can't do anything. Which makes me wonder, what about the Guardian's time portal? Is that still there? Because the Guardian doesn't seem like he would go down easy. Then again, Jack had the only weapon that could, stop him. So I don't know. Maybe Aku can't see that one because that time portal seems to be alive. I'm not 100% sure. But what I am sure of is, mostly sure of, is my theory that Jack was fighting to, I guess, get into one of the last time portals, and that guy on the green horse, the guy in the armor and the horse in the green background, was able to just to knock his sword away and all that. Which actually, and the reason I think that is because when he's doing his swording, like you see it, it's the same hint of green as when that guy appears in his PSD flashbacks. So, yeah, there's that. That's partially why I think of it. And I feel like if Aku was able to knock away Samurai Jack's sword, I think he'd just kill him right there and then. Because, he would no longer have the only weapon that he could use as defense. So, why let the guy live? So I think it was a minion, and I think this guy is like plaguing him with visions, or at least intensifying them. And like when he was fighting Scaramouche, when Scaramouche said this guy's gone buku cuckoo, which I thought was really funny. When he what was it? When he saw those children, like, and he was like pleading with them to understand. It reminds me of the episode, I think, Aku's stories, when he was like telling stories to children. Like, what if Aku just straight up killed them all? Like, think about it. If they're not falling in line, just get rid of the ones that are and teach an example to the rest of them. It would stop you. You're the great ruler of the world or something. No, supreme ruler of the world. So yeah. That's my review of Samurai Jack Season 5, Episode 1. 10 out of 10. And yeah. That's all there is for this one. Have a good one. And like, share, and subscribe. And leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'm actually really curious. And yeah. Bye.